Our answer video has two parts. The first shows our expert answering the question in just 1 minute. It's pretty quiet and intense as they work through it. Then the second part shows the expert explaining how to go through the answer, how you can answer it step by step, so that you can learn from the best. Now, here's one of our experts answering this reading question in just under a minute.
First off, I'm going to read this question. Why is the spelling of the words incorrect? I'm going to highlight keywords. So the difference between all of this is just these words: interesting, difficult, funnier, authentic, or shorter. What I'm then going to do is have a look at the actual text itself. So you can see here it's spelled incorrectly. The word diary, thought I ought to keep a diary but said I didn't want to because I couldn't write well enough. You can see here that it looks like it's being written by a young boy. And the title here says it is The Real Diary of a Real Boy. And that indicates here that the answer should be D, because it's authentic. Real Diary of a Real Boy rather than all the others.
Now that you've seen it done in under a minute, let's learn how to answer these types of questions step by step. Your expert will also explain what kind of knowledge you might need so that you can answer these questions successfully!
To get to the answer, what I first did was to read the question. It's my first step. So why is the spelling of the words incorrect? So they're saying, why is the spelling of it incorrect? So what is the purpose of this? Okay, now that I know what I'm looking for in this text, I can then be more focused when I look through it. Second thing I do look at, the second step, would be to go through the answer options, just so I can understand what's different between each one. So interesting, difficult, funnier, authentic, shorter. These are the proposed reasons why they've used incorrect spelling. Okay, so then now that I have gotten my focus from step 1 and step 2, I can understand what I'm looking for: interesting, difficult, funny, authentic, or shorter. I can then go into the text. And in the text, this is step 3, I look for the incorrect spelling so I can find out why they've done it, or figure out why. And this is where inference comes in. So you can see here, punished, rained, fight. So there's a spelling mistake in nearly every sentence. But when you look at the spelling mistakes, you can see punished. The spelling mistakes are made such that it looks like it's a younger person who's starting to learn how to write, and they've spelt it as they would see it. So F-I-T-E, that actually is said as fight, but it's spelled incorrectly. But when you say it, it sounds like fight. So that's one of the key points here. Okay, so it looks like it's not really trying to make it interesting, because the story is interesting even without the spelling mistakes. Well, they're not really making it more difficult to read, because we can actually understand it. See, punished, rained, fight. So it is, I guess, difficult in some way, but it's not too difficult to read, and that's not its purpose. That's not why they've done it. To make the diary funnier? It could be, but the key here is the word real. Diary of a real boy. And the word real here is sort of a key thing that points to this idea of the diary being authentic, and that's why they've made the spelling of the words incorrect, because they want to represent that it is the real diary of a real boy, and a real boy would probably spell these words incorrectly when they're starting out. And to make the diary shorter would be the incorrect answer. Okay, so that's the fourth step there. So that's how I got to the answer in 5 steps or less.
Now that you know how to answer these questions, let's use what you've learned to practice with more.